Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have another Fog of War puzzle. This one is by WUC or WC. Um, it just it's comical looking, at least to me, starting out of the just seeing what the original the photo of it, not the photo of it, but the layout of this thing. But it's called the Smiling Phantom, and I guess we can see why it's called the Smiling Phantom. So, Fog of War, and there's a bit of humor or fun at least added to it. So this is top of my list of things I want to play. So let's take a look at these rules and see if we can get this thing going. So we've got standard Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box contains the digits 1 through 9 each. Then we've got German whispers. So adjacent digits along a green German whispers line must differ by at least 5. So there's one completely exposed here. So we can say that whatever this digit is, this one must be 5 away from it. And then this one is 5 away from this one, and so on and so forth along the line. Then we've got XV-Dominos. So cells separated X must sum to 10. Cells separated by a V must sum to 5, and not all X's and V's are necessarily given. So there is no negative constraint. So we can kind of see the tail ends of some of those X's and V's. So this is an X clue. So therefore, these two must add up to 10. This is a V clue. So these two must add up to 5. Then we've got Kropki pairs. So digits in cells separated by a black dot are a 2-to-1 ratio. Not all dots are necessarily given. So I guess there's no white dot Kropkis in this particular puzzle. But we do have a few black dots showing here. So these two are just in a 1-to-2 ratio. This digit, whatever it is, this one has to be half or double of it. That's that. And then we get fog. So part of the grid is covered with fog. As correct digits are placed, the fog will clear from cells surrounding the correct digit, revealing additional clues. There is always enough information in the revealed portion of the grid to place another correct digit without guessing. Digits can be placed within the fog. My normal description is if we were to somehow figure out what this digit is, it would clear out all this fog. Then we'd get some new clues, hopefully, to work with, and then we can continue on the puzzle. But that's it. So I'll put it right here because these are the main rule sets for us to look at. Now let's get started on this thing. As usual, the link will be in the description below, so you can all play along. So let's get going. So where the heck do we want to start? Well, the wonderful thing about Fog of War is you're kind of given an entry area to start looking at. Now, I'm wondering which one of these is going to be where I want to start. I guess it's going to be right here, because we know this is a V clue. We can't see all of the V, but that's a V, just as we know these are X's. So this has to be a low digit. And I'm going to do my low-high coloring like I do on German whispers. So if this is a low digit, we know these are both low, and these are high, because of our parity between lows and highs on a German whisper. Now, if we know these are all low, I'm going to put them in for now. We're going to know that these two are high. We're also going to know this has, well, it has kind of a reduction as to what it can be, but not a ton of reduction. We also are going to know that these guys are low. So now we have all of our low digits in this row. And we know that this then has to be a high digit. Why is that? Well, if we've used all of the low digits on this in this row, the only thing we have left is either a 5 or a high digit. We can't ever put a 5 on a black Kropki dot. So this can't be the 5. So this has to be a high digit, which means it has to be either 6 or 8, which means this is either a 3 or a 4. Now we can do our next obvious thing. This can't be a 4, because both of these would have to be 9s. That breaks it in multiple ways. So this is 3, so therefore this is 6. And this might be the, I don't know if I'm going to continue to color in this way. We'll see as we go. Sometimes I'll change it up. But we do know these have to be 7, or not 7, 8 and 9. So these two have to be 1 and 2, which means these guys are not 1s and 2s. This is a 3 or 4, so this, wait, why did I put that one? That was just a mismark. It's not a V clue, that's a low digit. This has to either be 1 or 2. What else can we say? This has to either be 6 or 7, because it's on an X clue, so it equals to 10. And can we do anything further with this guy's nose? At least that's what I'm going to say it is. Can we say... Well, I guess we can look at these two groupings. So we know the black Kropki dots are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. Those are the only possible options. No 5, 7s, or 9s. These can't be 6 because of the 6, and they can't be 1, 2 because of that 1, 2. So we can remove a 1, and we can remove 3s from all of these. Now, this can't ever be a 4, because we know the German whisper does at least this. So if this was a 4, these would both be 9. So that's not 4. So this can't be 8 or 2. Now, can we say anything further about this guy? Because if it's a 3, these have to be 8, 9. Well, no, yeah, they do. Yeah, because they see each other. But if that's a 3, that forces this to be a 6. There's some sort of 8, 9 pair going on. Don't think that does enough here to cause any problems. On the flip side, if this is an 8, these have to be from 3 and 4, and they cannot, not 3 and 4, 1, 2, just 1, 2. Is my mind working correctly here? Yes. So that's, we're going to figure out this can't be an 8, I guess. This has to be a 1, 2. These have to both, yeah, I cannot talk. This would have to be a 1, 2 pair because we can't use a 3, and we can't obviously put a 4 with an 8. So that would force this to be a 1 or a 2. We already have the 1s and 2s. So this is not an 8. This has to be 3. This has to be 6. This is not 3. This is not 6. Okay, so now this does continue further, which is nice. And we also know that this is a 5 clue, which does what for us? We can say that there has to be a 4 on here as well. So we'll put that there for now. Even though it's crossing a border in this particular instance, I think I'll work with it. These have to be from this variety, because again, we said a V has to either be 1, 4 or 3, 2. This can never be a 4, because we can't put 9 on both sides of it. This can't be 3 just by basic Sudoku. So this therefore is either a 3 or a 4 here. And we said this is a 4, so this is 3. That forces this to be 2. There we go. Now we know these are from 7, 8, and 9 because they have to be high digits because these are lows and there's no 6 on it. And these can't be 7s because they're next to a 3, so it forces this to be 7. Okay. Now, what have we opened up that we can continue to look at? The only thing that seems to have shown up here now is this black Kropki. Is it much use at the moment? Or is there anything in this column that's remaining that we can work with? Well, there has to be a 1 down here. We can put that in, I guess, for the moment. That's pretty much it. Okay. All right, so let's look at this black Kropki then. Again, we know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. This can't be 3. This can't be 6. This can't be 2. This can't be 1 then. Is there anything in there that's going to cause problems elsewhere? I don't think so. I'm just staring at it for a second, thinking, but being blank, so that's fine. There has to be a 6 down here somewhere. So we're going to have to be able to break something in here that we can continue to move out to the sides, I think. Question's going to be, what is it? Where can we put it? We don't have any visual of what's going on over here, which doesn't help us at the moment. So, where are we going to look? Because the German whisper essentially is sorted now. This guy, once we figure out where the 4 goes, will determine what all this does. My phone keeps annoying me. Okay. What am I not seeing? That's probably quite obvious to everybody else. That's a good question. Because I just hit a wall here for some reason. This must have a 4 on it. Just puts a 4 down here somewhere. It's not very helpful at the moment. Oh, this can't be 2. That's what I was not seeing. Okay. Yeah, it was sitting there right in front of me, just being a little slow. So that 4-8 is there going to set everything else up. So let's do that and get back on track here. That means that this is 3 and this is 4, and then everything's going to open up here. Good. Now we have more information that we can work with. There can't be a 4 on here, which means there can't be an 8 on here. There can't be a 6 either, so we put a 1 and a 2. Gives us a little bit more. And the other bit we opened up was this guy. Well, there's a couple of things we've opened up, but he seems like it's going to be the most useful at the moment. So what can we do on a black Kropki without using a 2 or a 3? Well, we can't do 1, 2, 2, 4, or 3, 6. So the only possibility here is 4, 8. We do get a 4, 8 pair here at the moment. But I don't quite see how that helps us, because this 4 could go with a 9 over here. It's 8 could go with a 1 over here. So I guess we can say this is either a 1 or a 9. Whether or not that gives us much to work with, I don't know, but it does something, I guess. What about this guy? Okay, this guy has to be a high digit, because it can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this, and it can't be 6, 8, or 9. Okay, so that was quite clear if I just looked over here for a second, which I finally did. So this has to be a 7. This has to be a low digit, either 1 or 2, which means this is a 1, 2, or 4. So there has to be a 2 on here somewhere. And can we continue to make this work? So this is a 6. Okay, there we go. The 2s. We had to look back at our Sudoku. Has to go here, which means this has to be a 6. Now these 2 are going to be what? We might as well put them in there. 5s and 7s. Okay, so this has to be our 5. This has to be our 7. I'm still waiting for these 8, 9s, and 4, 8s to resolve themselves. They will eventually, I'm sure of it. So, all right. Can we do anything with this guy? Because it seems like he's the last bit, unless we can look further into our Sudoku world. What can he be? Seems like there's a lot of things he could be. Could be a 1, 9. Just straight up with no regulation, essentially. It cannot... Well, it could be a 2, 8 if this is 2 and this is 8. And it could be a 3, 7 if this is 3 and this is 7. And it can never be a 6, 4. So those are our options. I don't really like them. Oh, wait, we just said there's a 2 over here, so this cannot be a 2, 8. That's right. Get rid of those. All right. So that didn't do anything for us. We're going to have to maybe look at our Sudoku a little bit further. Yes, 1 looks in here. This is a 1. This has to be from 4, 8, or 9, and it can't be 8. So it's either 4 or 9. We do anything further with our 1s? Don't think so. How about 2s? We're going to know that one of these is 2. One of these is 2. And one of these. Not helpful. How about our threes? One of these is a 3. Looks about as far as we'll go with those for now. We only have one 4. We only have one 5. What are 6s? Okay, 6s are next in line. So none of these can be 6s. So this is a 6. And we are chipping away here. One of these is a 7. This column, we have to put a 5, 4, a 7, and a 9. We know the 7 goes down here. The 9 could go in a couple of places. The 4 can go in multiple places. And the 5 can go multiple places. Okay, so that's not going to help us there for a second. That was our 7s. Let's look at our 8s and 9s just to finalize for those. And there's nothing going on there, so we have to figure out something else. What is it going to be? We need the 1. We need 4. And we need that 5. Again, there's not quite anything there. Oh, this can't be a 2. Why did I mark that? Don't quite know. That's okay. All right. What about any of our pairs that we've created? Because it doesn't look any of our clues at the moment are helping us. What about in here? 1s aren't quite good enough. 2s we already know are over there somewhere. 3s, 4s are taken care of. 5s are wild cards. 7s. Okay, that is something. So we can't put 7s in any of these. So this is a 2-7 pair, which means these have to be from 1, 5, and 9. This is not 1. It's almost something useful there. Interesting, though. What about in one of these other ones that we haven't explored just yet? 3s can go anywhere. 5s can go almost anywhere. 8s and 9s are not an issue. Okay. So I guess we need to have an 8 in one of these two. That's about all we can find there as well. All right, what am I not quite seeing? So it really does seem like these are the only clues left over at the moment until we clear a little bit more fog. Wait, this can never be a 1. What am I talking about? Oh, that's what it is. I just didn't finish removing my options on my clues. This is a 5-9 pair, so this is a 1. That forces this to be an 8 and a 4. And then that's an 8 and a 4. That 8 gives us our 9 and our 8. And this is our 5 and our 9. And that opens everything back up. Now we can keep going forward. This is a 4. So what have we found? These guys are still not quite working with anybody. That's fine. We know one of these is a 5 now. And what about, we've opened up this. So I'm wondering if it's a Sudoku thing now. We've got a few digits that are going to work together. Okay, we can look at this guy instead. We know it can't be a low digit because we found this out a long time ago. So this has to be high. It's either 7 or 9. Don't know which one it is. This has to be a low digit. Can't be 1. It could be 2 or 4. That didn't do a whole lot just yet, did it? 7s have to go down here. 9s have to go down here. So this is a 7-9 pair, which means this is our 5. Which means this is a 5-8 pair. And this is a 1-3 pair. So let's put all that stuff in there so we have it. Then we can get rid of some of this markings we don't quite need. Okay. Again, what did that do for us? We need to create some more space. The way to do that, I said I had to create more space to keep working in before it cut out on me. But one of these is a 1. So I have to see if there's Sudoku. We have gotten quite a bit put back into our grid now, so that we may be able to revisit this and get some more information. At least we're going to try to. So this is a 1-4 pair, which forces, oh, that 4 here is going to, or that one too as well. This is going to give us this, but anyway, getting down to here, these have to be from 5 and 7. That creates an X-wing on 5s. So one of these is 5. Do we have anything here? Because we're getting a lot of low digits on here. I guess what we could say is we have all 4 of our low digits. And we know one of these will be a 5, so this has to be a high digit. And it can't be a 6, so it's either 7, 8, or 9. Do. Okay. Did that open anything else up for us? Just scanning all around, so that's why I'm being a little bit quiet. All right. I was hoping that some of this stuff would look further into here, but maybe there's some interaction between these two. I don't see it. This is either a 1-2, which forces this to be a 4. This is a 3-7. Or it's a 2-4, which forces this to be a 1. Therefore, this isn't a 1. So there always is a 1 in this grouping. It's either here or here. So these are not 1s. So that can't be a 1-9. So therefore, that's what we needed to get, 3 and 7. That's going to remove that as being a 7. It's going to force these to be 5 and 7. And we now know that this is a 5. This has to be our last high digit, because we no longer. Hello? I don't know why it's cutting off that frequently. I've never seen that happen before. Anyway, this is our last high digit because we have all of our lows and a 5. So this has to be from 6, 7, 8, or 9. Obviously, it can't be 6 or 7, and it can't be a 9. So this is 8. It forces this to be 9. That forces this to be 7 and 9, and that 7 there is going to make this be a 2. Therefore, those are not. All right. What did we have? That 2 is going to come up here, give us an opening now here, so we can get rid of that. This guy has to have a high and a low, and it can't have 1, 2, or 3. So it must be a 4, 6 pair. There's a 4 here, so this is 6, this is 4. Now with that said, we know what this digit is because of this column. It must be a 3. And we're going to know what some of these other ones are going to be brought down to in terms of what's remaining. So we should be able to figure out some things here. So let's look at Sudoku because it seems like that's really what's left over for us at this moment. Our 2 should be, no, they're still on that X-wing. 3s are going to help us. 3s are on an X-wing. 4s don't quite get there. And how about 5s? Nope. How about 6? We'll find something eventually. Yes, here's a 6. That 6 is then going to tell us what this is, which is an 8. So let's continue onward. We've got X-Wing on 6s. Oh, let's not skip. Let's go to our 7s. Yep, that's going to do it. So 7, 1. Could we do more with the 1s? No, it doesn't look like it. Let's continue on with our 7s then. We have an X-Wing left on 7s. I'm going to have to start filling in these things because we have a bunch of digits, I think, but we can get an 8 down here. And let's then look at our 9s real quick. Yep, we get a 9. Okay, so this is a 3-9 pair. And we're left with this digit, which has to be 5, which is going to give us, wrong button, 5 and 5. And this is going to be a given 4, which leaves this one as a 1, which gives us our 4 and our 1. That now solves this. This is 2 and 4. That's going to open all this stuff up now. 2 gives us our 7 and our 2. And what else can we do? We need to have a 1 and a 6. These have to be 5 and 9. Okay, what about you? 7 and 8. There we go. And we get one eventually. That's 8. That's 7. That could now completely break this open. 5. That would be a 3 and a 9. And we're going to have to look up here, I guess, for the final. We need a 4 and a 6. So this is our 6. This is our 4. And that's going to do it. That'll give us our 1 and our 6. And that'll give us a 3 and a 1. And there we go. You saw the puzzle solution is correct. In a pretty quick time, I would say. 27 minutes, which me babbling on for a little while and having some microphone issues. Anyway, beautiful puzzle. I really did enjoy the grinning face that was starting with. That's really why I wanted to get on this one anyway. Obviously going with the Fog of War, because Fog of Wars are just fun as can be to get going. So anyway, lovely puzzle. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. We're getting pretty close to our 1,000 mark at this moment. So thank you all for everything you do. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.